Hello everyone, here is the next topic. What is the measure of inertia? That is, on what factor does the inertia depend? In the previous lecture, I have already told you that what is inertia. Inertia is the inherent property of a body to resist the change produced in it. That is, the body will oppose the change in the state of the rest or the change in the state of the motion, that unless an unbalanced force acts on it. Inertia depends on the mass. Greater the mass, greater is the inertia. That is, the measure of inertia is the mass of the body. Therefore, it is difficult to push a heavy stone than a lighter stone, because the heavy stone has greater mass, therefore it will oppose more than the lighter stone. In this picture, you can see that there are two buckets hanging. One is empty and other is filled with the sand, which will be more difficult to move or push. The bucket filled with the sand, because it is heavier, that is, it has greater mass, therefore it will possess greater inertia. Then momentum. Momentum is the quantity of motion possessed by a body. That is, it is the combination of quantity and motion. Quantity means mass and motion means velocity. Therefore, momentum is defined as the product of the mass and velocity. It is denoted by the symbol p, and it is a vector quantity, because it depends upon velocity, and velocity is a vector quantity. Its SI unit is kg meter per second. Let's see the examples of Newton's second law of motion. First example is kicking a ball. When we kick a ball, we exert force in a specific direction, which is the direction in which it will travel. In addition, the stronger the ball is kicked, the stronger the force we can put on it, and further away it will travel. What was the force? Force is equal to mass into acceleration. That is, greater the force, greater will be the acceleration produced. Therefore, the more force with which the ball is kicked, the more acceleration or the more speed can be produced in the ball. Second, pushing a cart. It is easier to push an empty cart in a supermarket than it is to push a loaded one, because since it has the greater mass, therefore will be more force required, and for the lighter one, less force will be required to move it, or we can say that more mass requires more force to accelerate it. Third, two people walking. Among the two people walking, if one is heavier than the other, then the one weighing heavier will walk slower, because the acceleration of the person weighing lighter is greater. You have already observed in your surroundings that the fat people move very slow as compared to the thin people, because they have the more weight, so they are need greater force to accelerate. Now, impulsive force. What is impulsive force? A force which acts on an object for a short period of time. That is known as impulsive force. Let's see the examples of Newton's second law of motion. First example is kicking a ball. When we kick a ball, we exert force in a specific direction, which is the direction in which it will travel. In addition, the stronger the ball is kicked, the stronger the force we can put on it, and further away it will travel. What was the force? Force is equal to mass into acceleration. That is, greater the force, greater will be the acceleration produced. Therefore, the more force with which the ball is kicked, the more acceleration or the more speed can be produced in the ball. Second, pushing a cart. It is easier to push an empty cart in a supermarket than it is to push a loaded one, because since it has the greater mass, therefore will be more force required, and for the lighter one, less force will be required to move it, or we can say that more mass requires more force to accelerate it. Third, two people walking. Among the two people walking, if one is heavier than the other, then the one weighing heavier will walk slower, because the acceleration of the person weighing lighter is greater. You have already observed in your surroundings that the law states that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force applied, and the force change takes place in the direction of the force. Now, we will formulate a mathematical form of the Newton's second law, or we will derive the force equation. For this, we will do the derivation. For this, we will consider an object of mass m moving along a straight line with velocity u, that is, its initial velocity is u. then it is accelerated uniformly by applying a constant force F, and its velocity becomes v. That is, v is the final velocity, u is the initial velocity, and the change takes place in the time interval t. Now let the initial and final momentum of the body be P1 and P2. P for momentum. P1 is equal to initial momentum, that is when the velocity was u. Therefore, P1 is equal to mu, and the final momentum means the related to the final velocity. Therefore, P2 is equal to mv. Now change in the momentum. Change in the momentum is equal to final momentum minus initial momentum. That will be equal to P2 minus P1. Rate of change of momentum. Rate means per unit time. That is change in momentum upon time. What was change in momentum? P2 minus P1. And what was the time interval? T. Therefore, rate of change of momentum will be equal to P2 minus P1 by T. Then, rate of change of momentum can be written as mv minus mu by T. That is, we will substitute the values of the P1 and P2. P2 is equal to mv and P1 is equal to mu. Therefore, mv minus mu by T. Then you can take m as common. Therefore, m into v minus u upon T. And what is v minus u by T? It is the formula of acceleration. A is equal to change in velocity upon time. Therefore, v minus u by T can be replaced by the acceleration, which is denoted by A. Hence, the equation will become rate of change of momentum is equal to ma. Now, according to the Newton's second law of motion, rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force applied. Therefore, substituting the respective values, we will get ma is directly proportional to F, and F is directly proportional to ma, and when we remove the proportionality sign, we will put a constant. We will substitute K as the proportionality constant. Therefore, the equation becomes F is equal to Kma. In SI system, the constant K has the value 1. Therefore, the equation will become F is equal to ma. This is known as the force equation, and this is the mathematical formulation of the Newton's second law. Now, the units of the force. The units of the force are classified into two types. First is the absolute units and second is the gravitational unit. Under the absolute units, the SI system is Newton. In SI system, the unit of force is Newton. 1 Newton is equal to 1 kg into 1 meter per second square. How does it come? 1 kg for mass and 1 meter per second square for the acceleration, because we have defined the force equation as F is equal to ma. Therefore, we will substitute the values of mass and acceleration. For mass, we have written 1 kg, and for acceleration, we have written 1 meter per second square. Similarly, in CGS system, the absolute unit of the force is dyne. 1 dyne is equal to 1 gram into 1 centimeter per second square. Dyne is used for the CGS system, and in the place of the kg it will be gram, and in the place of the meter per second square it will be centimeter per second square. Now, second type is gravitational units. In the gravitational units in SI system, the unit will be kilogram weight or kilogram force. 1 kilogram weight is equal to 1 kilogram force, or you can write as 1 kilogram into 1 weight. One weight it will be replaced by 9.8 meter per second square. Therefore, it can be written as 9.8 Newton. Similarly, in CGS system, the unit will be kilogram. In the place of kilogram, we will write as the gram weight or gram force. Therefore, 1 gram weight or 1 gram force is equal to 1 gram into 980 centimeter per second square, which can be written as 980 dynes, because dynes is equal to 1 gram into 1 centimeter squares. Therefore, it has been replaced by 980 dynes. Therefore, the units of force are in SI system, in the absolute system will be Newton and dynes, and in the absolute gravitational units it will be kilogram weight or kilogram force, and in CGS system it will be gram weight and gram force.